Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the DeltPoint Pro. I purchased this thing back in, got it about late March and early April of this year. I had a person I was talking to who convinced me to get one, especially since you have the VIP program through DeltPoint Pro, which I didn't know about, which literally turned this site, this $449.99 site, into $323.99. It was about $100, about $110, $120 cheaper than regular. Best deal you can find was going through the VIP program. And it is for law enforcement and military, and I think a few others. You'd have to look it up. But you're allowed to buy 2 sites a year for this. So I saw that and I was like, I need to have one. So I purchased one, and I'm going to go into the pros and cons of this site. There's some stuff that I kind of, I like the site. I'm going to carry it on my weapon for a while, but there's some things that I think that Leupold could improve on with their next gen, and some things that I kind of, I don't know, had to look for the internet for. So let's get into the pros. Let's get into the cons first, because the cons are, I can't say anything bad about this site, and we'll get into controversial stuff. One, it's a tall site. It's a very tall site. I don't know if they did it because of the windage or the adjustment levels here. I have a Romeo 1, which is basically the same footprint as the DeltPoint Pro, but you see that their windage thing is a lot smaller. But yeah, it is the same footprint, same size. I can literally put the DeltPoint Pro on my SIG 229 slide here. Yes, I got a SIG 229, and it would fit the same thing. From my understanding, when the M17 contract was awarded to SIG, the military chose a DeltPoint Pro. I don't know if they're still using it. I know SIG came out with some other optics for the M17, M18 pistols, but the DeltPoint Pro was the chosen red dot for this, for that particular pistol. The only other con I can see besides tall is the adjustment site. You have to go through the adjustment site. It's 7 up, 7 down. It gets kind of annoying when you're trying to find your settings, especially if you turn it off, they take out the battery or something. I know SIG has the adjustments right here, and everyone else seems to have the adjustments on the side. You know, very tactile. This is the Gen 1 acro. You know, I think even the Romeo 2 has a little bit more tactile stuff. It could be on the side, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I just find a setting and go with it. I find a good daytime setting, not too bright, not too low, and then I just run it that way. That's how I've ran my acro, and probably going to run my Romeo 1. So I also want to get into this site. We'll get into the sites in a minute. I kind of want to go over the pros of this, because this was more about the backup iron sights than anything else. So let's get into the pros. The one, it has a really big window, bigger than the aim point. The aim point, even bigger than the Romeo 1. It has and I've heard a lot of people who like this site talk about, they just like the window. It gives you a lot more open space, and it really does. It gives you a lot of open space, more so than, let's say, something like the acro, which is more of a tube. I like the acro, don't get me wrong. I never had any issues with it, but this just is just wider. I did use a CMH Precision base plate. A little pricey. It's like, I think I paid $80 for it, but it works. I like it. You know, I like the fact that you can change the battery out here. just open this up and the battery pops out. You don't have to take the sight off or anything like that. Kind of like the RMR. I know there's a lot of people who are RMR fans out there, and sorry, never saw the point of taking the sight off and putting it back on. I know that RMR's battery life is long, but a couple of years, but is a couple of years, but you know, I don't really want to take the sight off and put it back on, change out the battery, and then re-zero it. But the DeltPoint Pro is top loaded, has a magnet right there. You just kind of on and then put it right there. No. Turn it. This thing's pretty durable too. No. This also has the shake awake feature where you can lay it down where I think after 5 minutes, if it doesn't detect motion, it'll turn off within 5-10 minutes, which saves battery life. And then when you activate it, or when you want to activate, just move it and it'll turn on, which will help save your battery life, which is a pretty good feature. I've also noticed the Romeo 1 has that too. The Acro doesn't. So let's get into the kind of controversial part of the site. And I don't want to say controversial, but it's hard trying to find backup sites for this. Now, if you're running a competition gun or a staccato, you just go to if you're running competition, you really don't need a backup sites for it. If you're running a staccato, you go to Dawson Precision and you can get sites for it. They do make sites for the DeltPoint Pro, but they say that they're co-witnessed, and there's a difference between co-witness and 3/3 co-witness. Co-witness means it's going to line up right there with the dot, where 1/3 co-witness is the way I have it now, which the dots, the sites are kind of lowered. I kind of like that. I don't see the point of having co-witness. The sites I did originally put on here were co-witness, and to me, it just defeated the purpose of having a red dot, especially since I was more focused on the front sight. And the idea is, target. The purpose of the red dot is threat focus. So you look at the threat and then bring the dot up. Here, I was just noticing the sight more. So I didn't really care for that. I got the 3/3 co-witness sights. So Dawson Precision says that they have co-witness, but they look more like 3/3 co-witness. They're $65 for all black, and I might get a pair just to try them out. But I don't know. The other issue came up was that also trying to find sites for this thing, backup sites, was hard. You can get Leupold does make an iron sight that goes on the back here. I was thinking about getting it, but I found another place to get them. Galloway Precision has a backup sight for the DeltPoint Pro. I know this is probably going to be the most expensive thing you probably heard for a backup site, and that's going to be $9.50. I think I paid $13-14 all together. But yeah, it slides right back here. There's like a little thing. There's like a little slot back here. You just loosen up the screws here in the back. Just slide in. Just take out the insert. Put this in here and just tighten it down. And then finding an iron sight was hard. And finding an iron sight was hard. I actually had to do some research online, and I found one at Lone Wolf Distributors. They were actually selling a set with this iron, with the front sight, with the Leupold backup iron sight. And it's an Ameriglow front sight, and it's going to be 385 tall and 155 wide, or I'm sorry, 115 wide. It's a special sight. and it works pretty well. I found some other stuff on there regarding with Dawson Precision. It seems to be a little taller. I don't know if I'm going to go get that, but I really like the sights that are on here. Again, trying to find backup sights for this thing it can be a pain, because you either get them, it seems like a lot of them are just co-witnessed, and I'm not a big fan of that. For me, it kind of defeats the purpose of having iron sights, or defeats the purpose of having a red dot sight. But the Galloway Precision rear and the front dot sight here, or the front sight, the front iron sight works perfect for me. Unfortunately, with Ameriglow, it's only black. If you want tritium or something, you're going to have to look for that. But I'm running black sights on my red dot sights, guns with red dot sights, just because it kind of reminds me of my AR setup, my patrol AR. It has the front post, and it's all blacked out, and yeah, it looks like it's a little co-witnessed with the aim point, but you know, you just ignore all that till you need it. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to talk about more of the just the con is more just trying to find backup iron sights for it. Do I like it? Yeah. I haven't cleaned the lens yet. I'm kind of been running it since, like I said, early March, late March, early May. I've been running the sight since late March, early April. So I kind of want to see how dirty I can get it before I start cleaning it out. And it seems to be holding up pretty well. Again, through the VIP program, it works pretty well. Through the VIP program, you get a significant savings on it. You can order 2 a year, and I'm going to keep this on for a while. I really like it. I don't have any really cons to say about anything negative, except for the trying to find backup iron sights for it. I guess you could call Leupold, but I didn't do that. I just kind of wish that there was somebody out there talking about backup iron sights for these things, and I guess I'm the one who's doing it. So again, the Galloway Precision rear for $9.50. I think these were like $40, and I had to literally look for them. I forgot what website I found them on, but and they seem to be hard to come by because of whatever. They seem to be hard to come by. And I don't know if it's because of supply chain issues, and that's just, to me, that's, you're making them in-house. You should be able to make these sights, but that's just my 2 cents. Anyways, kind of wanted to talk about the DeltPoint Pro a little bit. Like I said, I'm enjoying this sight. Can't say a whole lot of bad things about it, but just wanted to talk about the backup iron sights. All right, be safe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.